Right now at noon, a bill in Kansas would change the law for anesthesiologist assistants. Will it put patients to sleep before surgery?
And we've got mostly cloudy skies out there across the region, maybe a sprinkle or two, and warm weather. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, we're taking a look at Pitt State's 10th annual automotive skills competition.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A serious head-on crash yesterday between a passenger vehicle and a semi. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. The car was traveling west and crossed all lanes of traffic, hitting an eastbound tractor trailer. Joplin's East 32nd was immediately closed as debris scattered the roadway and the car ignited in flame. The driver, Eddie Cook of Greenwood, Missouri, was rescued from the vehicle and rushed to a nearby hospital before emergency services extinguished the grass fire that had spread around the car. Authorities say he is in serious but stable condition. A dog inside the passenger vehicle did not survive. A Neosho man has been missing for over a month. Trey Friend was last seen near Lincoln, Missouri. If you have information about his whereabouts, call 911. His family has also requested that if you can't get a hold of emergency services, to contact the family directly. In a statement from the family, they state, quote, "We have to find our boy no matter what it takes." Now here's Chris Warner with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got those mostly cloudy skies out there. This was a look from earlier this morning downtown Pittsburgh, where in this case it was just straight up cloudy, and a few sprinkles still possible until these clouds begin to clear out across the area. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline this morning, same situation, pretty cloudy skies out there, making it a little darker, but we'll still be able to warm up. Yesterday started at 33, made it all the way to 57. Thankfully, not quite a record. What we set back in 2017, 82. So not quite that warm, but still above normal out there. And that's been the trend. You can see this white line here. That is our average high of 49. The closest we get might be Saturday, but even then we're expecting to be a little warmer than that as we get into the weekend. All right, so mid-50s by 7 o'clock, mostly clear skies. The skies will begin clearing after about 2, 3 o'clock gradually across the area. Clear skies overnight tonight, back into the upper 40s by 11. We start off pretty decent Friday. We're going to be a little warmer tomorrow, and then those shower and thunderstorm chances work in. I have details on that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Kansas lawmakers are considering a proposal that could impact anesthesiologist assistants. If passed, AAs would be licensed by the state and also disciplined by the state, setting up a legal framework including exam requirements, supervision, clarifications, and criminal background checks. KOAM's Nellie Lopez spoke with the CEO of Coffeyville Regional Medical Center to talk about the Anesthesiologist Assistant Act and what it could mean for rural hospitals.
We're blessed. We have a full staff of CRNAs and anesthesiologists.
For rural hospitals like Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, CRNAs play a big role in helping serve the community.
As I've talked to my colleagues that are in smaller markets like us that are critical access hospitals in rural Kansas, for them, most of them have 100% CRNAs.
Kansas House Bill 2368 is proposing to create the Anesthesiologist Assistants Licensure Act, setting a full licensing and regulation system for AAs under the Kansas State Board of Healing Arts.
This particular bill would give the licensing capabilities for anesthesia assistants. Those anesthesiology assistants can only work with an anesthesiologist.
Assistants that are not usually used in rural areas.
But if you go look at the bigger markets where there's a higher volume level of employed anesthesiologists, yes, they could potentially use those.
But this bill does draw a little bit of concern.
I think the concern from everybody is that we create legislation that would hurt or deter from people going into CRNA training programs. I see kind of both sides of it. I see where it can be a benefit, but I also see where it very easily could be something that could harm the anesthesiologist coverage we already have in the state of Kansas going forward.
Lawrence hopes for any future changes to the medical field. The state considers more than one market size.
Rural hospitals make up the majority of healthcare providers in the state of Kansas. So we need to be writing legislation that supports the rural healthcare facilities that are out there serving. And we can't just be focused on, what's beneficial for the larger markets.
In Coffeyville, Kansas, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
Lawrence also says the state should consider the workforce shortage across the state when creating legislation to be able to recruit and retain those who want to serve in Kansas. Well, 2026 is off to a busy start for the Reddingsville Fire Protection District with a spike in structure fires in just the first 6 weeks of the year. Since January 1st, crews have responded to multiple house, chimney, and outbuilding fires and provided mutual aid on several major incidents in neighboring districts, including Carl Junction, Seneca, and others. The Reddingsville Fire Chief says that a strong partnership with surrounding fire agencies has been critical, especially since volunteer firefighter numbers have dropped statewide. Reddingsville Fire Department moved to a fully paid department in 2022. And help is on the way for the Nevada Animal Shelter. The ASPCA has awarded $20,000 to boost support for the shelter. The grant will help cover services such as access to veterinary care, spays and neuters, as well as vaccinations. The shelter says expanding access to affordable services is essential to reducing pet overpopulation and keeping animals out of the shelter. Well, 6 area high schools participated in Pitt State's 10th annual automotive skills competition. KOAM's Kenny Foreman tells us what the students were tasked with and how it can help shape their futures.
They may only be juniors and seniors in high school, but the PSU staff wants them to gain exposure in various auto-related skills.
Each one of our stations has something to do with the automotive industry, whether it is in a job interview where they're having to present and talk and ask questions, whether it's in diesel performance, whether it is in engine performance, whether it is in brakes, hydraulics, steering, suspension.
Of course, over the past 10 years, the automotive industry has seen plenty of major changes, forcing the instructors to reconfigure the competition.
We used to have the average of 8 modules, and now we have the average of 36 computers on one vehicle. So we've had to evolve this contest over the years to reflect the growth in technology in the automotive industry. And that goes with our scan tools, being able to read the scan tools and diagnose electrical components.
The competition also serves as a networking event for the students to see what Pitt State has to offer. Current automotive management student Carson Davis participated when he was in high school and says the experience helped prepare him for his further education.
It was huge. I had a lot of background knowledge that a lot of my classmates didn't have. I felt like I had almost like a leg up just because of the fact that I'd already done a lot of this stuff before. I'd been around it. It wasn't new.
And even if they don't go the same route, their high school teachers know the skills will still benefit them in the long run.
If a student decides to go into any type of skilled career, these are transferable skills. So if they're not going to measure brakes one day, they're going to measure something one day. But this activity can definitely give them the opportunity to give it a try.
In Pittsburgh, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Pitt State currently offers certificates, 2-year and 4-year degrees through its School of Automotive and Engineering Technology. Well, coming up next, the White House has sent a new proposal to Democrats to fund the Department of Homeland Security and avoid a partial government shutdown set to take effect on Saturday. And later, we're making a velvety red velvet cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The White House has sent a new proposal to Democrats to fund the Department of Homeland Security and avoid a partial government shutdown set to take effect on Saturday. As senators debate ICE reforms today, the department's top officials are testifying on Capitol Hill, and the Minnesota operation that brought the issue to the forefront is coming to an end. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
We've seen a big change here in the last couple of weeks.
The president's border czar Tom Homan announced this morning the federal immigration enforcement operation in Minnesota is winding down.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
Homan says a small federal footprint will remain following the weeks-long operation that set off a national debate over the Trump administration's immigration enforcement tactics.
It comes at a cost of the lives of 2 U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
Minnesota's Attorney General was among state officials and immigration enforcement leaders testifying on Capitol Hill Thursday as the Senate debates reforms with a DHS funding deadline Friday. The White House and Senate Democrats have traded proposals this week, while GOP lawmakers have pushed back against some of the key Democratic proposals, including restricting agents from wearing masks and tightening rules around warrants.
It is already the law that you need a judicial warrant to enter into somebody's home, but that is obviously being undermined.
If DHS funding lapses, a partial shutdown would impact agencies including the TSA, Coast Guard, and FEMA. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer signaled Wednesday Democrats will not support another short-term funding measure to extend the status quo, accusing Republicans of not getting serious about negotiating. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
We've got a cake that's so rich and moist it goes by the name of Velvet, and it's just in time for Valentine's Day.
And we are tracking thunderstorm chances as we head into the upcoming weekend. Break it down for you when the KOAM News at noon returns.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon on this mostly cloudy Thursday. Temperatures, though, a little warmer. We're going to start with a quick recap outside from this morning downtown Pittsburgh, where those skies again were mostly cloudy out there, and we could still get a sprinkle or two as these clouds gradually begin to clear out through the rest of the afternoon. And we'll eventually end up with clear skies once we head into the late evening hours, and we'll have clear skies overnight tonight. Winds later this evening will shift out of the southeast, and they'll stop gusting on us as well. And we'll start our Friday with clear skies, and then about 8 o'clock in the morning or so, we'll start to go partly cloudy to mostly clear. Not a lot out there. Still a light southeasterly breeze. But once we reach about 3, 4 o'clock, clouds will begin to work in. And they will do so quickly as the expectations. Now we're mostly cloudy to straight up cloudy. And once we get past about 7 or 8, that's when we'll start to see opportunities for initially some isolated showers in northeastern Oklahoma. But as we go a little later, between 8 and midnight, we'll get a few more of these scattered showers and even some thunderstorms out there. So we're stopping midnight going into Saturday. And it doesn't take long for this activity to just kind of blossom and fill the entire region as we get a little closer to sunrise on Saturday. Starting at 5 a.m., showers, thunderstorms across the entire region, and for the first 2/3 of our Saturday, that's the way it's going to be. Scattered showers and storms. There could be pauses here and there, but you still want to keep that umbrella handy because we'll continue with shower and thunderstorm chances throughout the day on our Saturday. Now, as we get into the later hours on Saturday, so 5, 6 o'clock, we still have thunderstorm and shower activity out there, but it starts to wind down gradually, and eventually about 2, 3 o'clock on Sunday morning, the last of those showers are out of here. Now, we've talked about the thunderstorm chances on Saturday, and just a reminder, we've got just enough energy to get some thunderstorms with better chances in the southern half of our area. But the good news is, and it's kind of been consistent here, and hopefully it stays that way, don't want to jinx it, but we're not looking to have enough energy for any of those storms to reach severe status. So that's also good news. We don't need severe weather, but we do need that rain. And the other thing is, the rain tracker actually gives you a pretty decent idea as to where some of the thunderstorm activity is more likely, because those could bring in some heavier rain. So we're looking at anywhere from 1, 2, maybe 3 inches of much needed rain from this activity. And while that will not cancel out the drought, it will at least make a dent for some of us, especially under those storms where you could get some heavier rain. Now remember, just because it's a lower amount of rain, you could still get some rumbles of thunder up north, but it's just the better chances are down south for some of that thunderstorm activity. As for the rest of today, we're looking into the low 60s, low 40s overnight tonight, and we'll go into the upper 60s, low 70s tomorrow ahead of those storm chances. And because we'll be pretty warm tomorrow, the clouds and the rain will keep us milder Friday night into Saturday. We'll be back in the low 50s. We'll go upper 50s and low 60s for Valentine's Day. Showers and storms out there. Clearing out for our Sunday. More rain chances next Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Could even see the return of the 70s next week as well. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. We could definitely use some rain. Well, stick around. We're making velvety red velvet cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, as Valentine's Day nears, you may be looking for something sweet to make. And if you could fall in love with a cake, it would definitely be this rich and moist velvety red velvet cake. Howard shows us how to make it in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you're looking to whip up something that's Valentine's Day special, then I have just the thing. It's an old-fashioned Southern red velvet cake that just shouts, "I made it with love, just for you." And it goes like this. We start by beating together some shortening, sugar, and a couple of eggs until it's nice and fluffy. To that, we add some flour, cocoa powder, a touch of baking soda, and a pinch of salt. Now here's the part that makes this cake truly stand out. We add in some buttermilk, which gives it a nice tang, a splash of vanilla, a touch of vinegar, and a healthy dose of red food coloring. After this is well combined, we divvy it up in a couple of cake pans and bake them off. After they cool, it's time to slather the whole thing with our homemade cream cheese frosting. Told you this was gonna be special. Finish it off with some chopped pecans and get ready for a cake that's so moist and flavorful, I know you're gonna love it. I sure hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our velvety red velvet cake so you can impress your Valentine. Maybe serve this up with a glass of bubbly and watch the sparks fly. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweeter way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
That looks great, Howard. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the Vorstein market prices.
All right, again, a little breezy today. South winds occasionally gusting to 20, low 60s. Skies clearing overnight and will go into the low 40s. Southeast winds 5 to 10 tomorrow, upper 60s, low 70s. Partly cloudy skies initially. Showers and storms building in after 8 o'clock, continuing throughout the day on Saturday. No severe weather expected. A little cooler, upper 50s, low 60s. Rain clears out early Sunday. Warming up, maybe even see the 70s by the middle of next week.
I know we
good.
could definitely use that rain. So.
You bet. And the mild temperatures, no one will complain, right?
Yeah, definitely nice. What do you have coming up for us tonight?
A lot's coming up at 5. For starters, finding the perfect gift or activity for Valentine's Day doesn't just apply to our two-legged significant others. No, a lot of people are finding gifts and spending money on who they consider their most loyal companions. And of course, that would be their pets. We'll have tips on what you should or shouldn't give to your furry friend. Plus, a new expo center is officially open in Grove, Oklahoma. Details on the potential impacts to both business and traffic. And future teachers gather to interview with prospective school districts at Pitt State. If you join us for those stories, a lot more, of course, it's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Those all sound great, Dal. Thank you so much. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We did have some special guests in the studio today, some students from Webb City Junior High. Have a great afternoon.